just take a second real quick and look at RKDA. If RKDA starts getting back above this VWAP, and I would say if it breaks 760, I think we could possibly see a move back up to $8. Look at the little U shape that's starting to form. We have our drop at the start of the day. It tried to come up for a second. The same exact thing that's going on with TGTX. Like if we break this resistance line, get above this VWAP, I think this thing could possibly go. So don't take your eyes off RKDA. So I'm going to just type out, alert RKDA. If this breaks VWAP and again a 760, watch for a big buying volume to move in. This is a patch chart supernova and has a lot of potential to run with news and a low float. No entries as of now, though. No reason to enter as of now. So I would say keep your eyes peeled right there. TGTX, just be careful. In case if TGTX, again, cracks this trend line, you have two different areas, right? So if we make this a little bigger so we can get more on point, TGTX has support right at 640, as we know. If you guys don't want to hold it below 640, completely understandable. Then lock it out. You do have VWAP support at 637. Okay, so 637. We do want to see if this can start U-shaping back on up. If you guys are not in right now, what can you do? Entry. Entry would be right here at around 642. Stop loss at around 639. Risks 3 cents, right? Risks 3 to 4 cents. If it doesn't work out, get out. But this would be, again, near the bottom, right? Or you can wait until it gets back above 650 for the third touch coming on up, right? So that's probably what you would want to look at. Either A, you can look at now for the bounce play, have like a 3 to 4 cent stop loss in case it doesn't work out. Again, you'd be buying at the bottom right here, but if it does crack, just cut out right away, 3 cent stop loss. Or wait till it does start U-shaping back on up. Look for the re-break of 650, because the re-break 650, we should be seeing at least 660, so you'll get at least like a free 10 cents. So again, those would be your two options. Other than that, RKDA, will you be watching for the 760 breakout? All right. So everyone good on that? Everyone kind of understand where we're at right here? Right here again, TGTX definitely trying to decide which way it wants to go at this moment. There are more sellers than bidders right now. So right now, right on that VWAP still, or excuse me, right on that trend line. I know a lot of you guys saying it's looking a little weak. This is, right at the support line. Little bounce so far. Let's see if we can get back up to 644, 645. Again, it's right here. We can, again, getting close, getting really close. We don't want this going below 640. Anything below 640, 100% you'd be out on. But, we have the right idea, of course, on what we're looking at. Well, sign out ZSAN. ZSAN, guys. ZSAN just got a pop. That just popped up on the high of the day momentum scanner. So that just came out of nowhere. That just went from 550 to 580. So ZSAN just came out of nowhere right there. That is one that's also a nice little mid-candle breakout pattern. The ask on TGTX is stacking pretty high right here. So again, sellers are kind of moving in. It's still holding 640. I would just put a stop loss at 639. So TGTX, I would probably just have a stop loss at 639. No reason to hold it if it goes below 640. ZSAN looks like a little bit of a random pop as it went from 550 straight up to 590, and now it's getting a little bit weaker. But we'll keep our eyes on it 100%. I have that on the bottom level too right now. Have that on the bottom level too. It just seems a little odd to just see a straight up move like that, but it's still on a good chart pattern on the daily chart, so can't dismiss it that much. It's a very good good daily chart with basically again that mid candle breakout pattern. Again, if you guys don't know mid candle breakout patterns, basically one that ZSAN That one's, pretty similar. You can see this one pretty similar at the moment. Somewhat similar. Let's see, pretty similar as well. So, ZSAN does have, a nice pattern towards it. Does have a good pattern towards it. Right now, TGTX, be careful, guys, right here. TGTX, you guys have to be careful if you're still in on it. Have to be careful. 640s are still holding, but it's looking weaker. It is looking weaker, so be careful. Still a good play. Again, we first alerted this at the break of $6 and the break of $6.10. Happy so many people were able to bank on this. But yeah, it is looking a little weaker. I'd probably, again, not force it at this point. ZSAN has a little bit more action towards it. TGTX, the bids, trying to hold 640. Doing its best to hold 640. Just be cautious. IGC, what do we got here? IGC, the only concern that I would have is just it has a ton of resistance. I mean, that resistance is up towards $3. But this one's still not bad. I mean, IGC, if you like it, throw a trend line on it. So if you like IGC, probably the best bet would just throw a trend line on that play and play it right here. Anything above it, you're good to hold. Anything below, you're fine. Or anything below, get out. TGTX. Starting 640s are starting to go. There's only like a couple left. Now it's going to start going 639. 640s are still holding. It does not want to give up 640. Little side note again, ZSAN is still trying to hold up right around that 760 mark. Okay, here I think the bids there they go finally. So the bids are finally starting to give up a little bit on TGTX. Now ZSAN starting to set up in a little bit of a bull flag pattern. I'm going to put ZSAN on the top right here. Where's RKDA at? Ooh, guys, RKDA. This is what I'm talking about. Watch the possible spike now. RKDA. I don't think this would be a possible bad entry. Look at this. We have our nice U shape starting to form. So watch this one now. RKDA starting to get the volume. Just as I was talking about before. Look at this. We just broke VWAP and we just broke 760. Watch that possible run up all the way up towards around $8 now on RKDA. Right? Now we're at 780. Right? Now it's starting 785. Now it's 786. Right? 787. And look at all the volume moving back on RKDA from this U-shaped pattern. 789. Right? And that all came through the break of this U-shaped pattern. Now it's at 790. Now it's at 792. $8 is going to be a little bit of a resistance line. Awesome job on RKDA right there, guys. So awesome work on RKDA if you guys are waiting for that pattern to form. So let's see if that's going to be able to break on RKDA. Get back on up to $8. But knew that volume push was coming in. Knew that volume push was going to come in right at that 760 break. Did get up to a higher end 795-ish. Right now it's having a little bit of a pullback. Let's see if it's going to be able to U-shape again. Be smart, but again, pretty predictable on that volume push right there. Does everyone see that? Is anyone confused on why buying came in at the break of 760? Does everybody understand why buying came in? Not only did we break the VWAP, but we broke this spike right here, which is at 760. So again, the stock came up to 760 right here once, right here once, and it fell. Then it came up again, gave it a really good test right here at 760, and it fell. So it established 760 and forced 760. Once we broke 760, that's where everyone ran over towards it because it shows that it's hitting new highs. 80K order at 775, 80K order at 775. That's going to help it move on up again on RKDA. And now again, we have another U-shaped pattern that formed to break it to see the stock move up towards around that 790 area. Right? Makes sense? So that's how I was able to see that one. RKDA, still looking. I'll put ZSAN on the bottom. So ZSAN I'll put on the bottom. RKDA has 760 support now since it's above it. So if you're like saying to yourself, hey, Dek, I want to buy RKDA, you would want to look at 760 support because now it's above it. But nice, again, nice 40-cent pop so far from that 760 break. We'll see if that can come back up. ZSAN, we'll also be watching that one. And then also, let's still keep our eyes on TGTX. Still trying to hold. TGTX still trying to hold. That's on the VWAP now, all the way down towards 638. So that's on the VWAP now. RKDA, look at that. RKDA, guys, back on up towards 795. $8 on RKDA. RKDA may get halted if it breaks through 810. If RKDA breaks through 810, it may get halted now. So let's see if that happens. 805, 802. Good job, team. Congrats if you guys are in. Congrats if you guys are in on that play. And where did the stock open? Because usually these plays at least get to the open. Let's see. ZSAN, or not ZSAN, what am I thinking? RKDA. I'm typing it in on Yahoo Finance. RKDA opened up at 811. So what was the high? It got up towards, right up towards like 808, 809. So that's pretty close to 811. Because usually, like if it spikes this hard, it usually gets up towards around the high of the day. So right now, that one's still trying to hold in the 790s. That's still trying to hold in the 790s right here. ZSAN still at the bottom. TGTX looks a little weak now, below 738. VWAP. Again, Adele, make sure you're typing in talk chat. Again, alerts chat is for alerts only. Right now, as you guys can see, I'm in a 1-minute chart and I'm in on a daily chart. So it's right here on top of the stream. Again, shout out Mike, $480. Creeker, quick 42. Vailer, 946. TP Trader, quick 100. Slee, 700. So again, good job right there. Also, sign out if you guys are just joining us once again. We are doing our small account challenge starting up next month. So, getting over to a little bit of March Madness. Starting next month, we have the March Madness Dekmar Trades Tournament, which I give away $500 to the winner of. Then after that, guys, we have our small account challenge coming on up. And as you guys know, on Mondays, we always have a nice little giveaway as well. So, small account challenge, we are back in. We started it in the fall, but with all the transitioning going on, we kind of lost focus on it. Also, I'm not going to be having a big account open at this time, just because when I had a big account open and a small account open at the same time, I was kind of finding myself, doing a lot more trading on the big account. So I'm going to be focusing more on the small account and, working with working with you guys and being in the same exact shoes that you guys are in. Right now, here comes another $8 break on RKDA. It's looking for it. $8 is still tough resistance. And again, if $8 does break, what's the resistance line? 811. Again, that's the open, right? Yep, so it's just going to be one small account, working to grow that between $3,500 to $4,000 and, working to grow that up and, of course, live streaming every single play. RKDA still getting held up around that $8 mark. 760 is bottom support. How's ZSAN? ZSAN looking? ZSAN still trying to hold. ZSAN still building some higher lows. Back above 585 on ZSAN is where that should get some volume. So we have ZSAN back above 585. Watch for volume to move back in. Again, I think the biggest profit we've seen so far today. Shout out to Valor, $2,096 profit. You're in at 725 on RKDA, out at 793, done for the day. Shout out to you, buddy. Enjoy your $2,000. That is absolutely awesome. Matthew Deck, I live in California. What's a good time to wake up to catch your pre-market activity? Again, you would have to start waking up around 4 o'clock. 4:30, right around there, 4 o'clock. The Trade Stat app? I'm not sure what you mean, the Trade Stats app, but I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Again, as you guys know, we actually, this is the second version, of course, of TradeCaster. Obviously, the first one we had some bugs. Obviously, now everything is working great. We have a lot of servers running, so everything's nice and smooth. Everything's absolutely awesome. Now, again, we're just going to be adding a lot of cool features. We're going to be adding a lot more widgets. We're going to be adding a separate box where basically you search anyone's name, you'll see all their alerts. Also, search a ticker, you'll see all the alerts that have been in chat from that ticker. So we're going to have that. Pop out chat, there's just one last little thing we have to do to it, and that's going to be in. So we have a lot of cool stuff. We're also, again, working to be able to get the mobile version up and running for you guys now as well. So everything's great and working absolutely how we want it now. But now it's time to go up and above every other platform out there. So that's what we're working on. Next. We have everything great that we love now, but now we're working on the next up and above. So we got tag and traders coming on up. We have a search bar that's going to, if you type in someone's name, it'll show every alert they've done on the day. If you search on anyone's on a ticker, it'll show you every ticker that's been alerted in chat on the day. We have a whole bunch of new widgets coming out as well, and that'll be TradeCaster, the third version coming on up. So give us a couple more weeks to finish those up, and that'll be set. But basically we have right here basically what we like. But as always, if you guys have any ideas or anything that you guys want incorporated, just send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to write it down, send it over to the program team, and get them working on it. This is for you. Oh yep, G. I'll be happy to help with that. Yeah, we have to get we're gonna get approval. We have to get approval by E-Trade, E-Trade and TD Ameritrade. So that's all. So again, just waiting on the approval from them, and then we'll be able to add that, G. I'm Dream Builder 82. I need advice for day trades for accounts under 25K. Well, that's why I'm doing the small account challenge. So the small account challenge is going to be starting that up in the next few weeks, and that's where I'll be on a small account, and you guys can basically watch exactly what I'm doing, follow along with exactly I'm doing, and go from there. Last year I turned 4,000 to 80,000. So definitely exciting stuff. And Drummer Boy for pre-market. For example, I want to get in with 5K shares, but the ask are split in 7. So same thing goes when you want to exit your 5K position. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, that's tough. If you buy in, like today, guys, what happened? I took a loss. I took a loss of $3,000 on RKDA because I was in on 6,000 shares. And guess what? People were only buying 500, 700 at a time. So if you're wondering, why didn't I get out earlier? It's because I had to get rid of 6,000 shares, and people are only buying 500, 300, 700 at a time. So obviously, I can make a lot of money, but also I can lose a lot of money. So if you're wondering, how do you get out of 6,000 shares in pre-market if the stock's fallen? It hurts you. There's no easy way unless someone comes up and wants to buy $3,000 on the level 2. All it is watching the level 2. And if you want to get out of a play, obviously you look for big buyers. You look for people to be selling or buying 1,200 shares, 4,000 shares. Hopefully 6,000 share comes on up and get in on it. But it's not easy to get in or get out if you want to buy big in pre-market unless other people are buying big. Yep, Trade Life again. We're just waiting for approval from like E-Trade or TD Ameritrade for for us to be able to link your broker to Tradecaster, so you could show off your P&Ls there. But we could probably put up some stats or anything like that so you guys can get that. Good idea, no problem. Should be an easy little program. Right now, guys, let's go over the live stream and let's talk about our plays. All right, let's talk about our plays right now. First thing, a lot of you guys are looking at RKDA. RKDA, guys, this thing still has a lot of potential, right? VWAP's going to start moving on up because the stock is holding right now around 770, 780. Watch for the break of $8. All eyes should be on for the watch the break of $8. If it breaks the open around 810 and this thing has volume, it may get halted for a nice gap up, okay? So that's what I want you guys really looking at coming on up in the next few minutes for the possible re-break of $8, break of 810, and may get halted as the stock could see a lot of big-time buying volume. It's a low float stock. Obviously, it looks like a lot of traders are going to want this. Here it's starting to come. Not a bad idea to start looking for your small entries for that possible $8 break. Again, best entries at this time are in the 780s, low 780s, maybe high 770s, best entry at this time. Stop loss would be below 770, okay? So if you're in on this play, stop loss is below 770 with a sell target up through $8. So that's where you want to be at this time. RKDA, best entry, again low 780s with a stop loss at 770. And we're looking for, again, that break of $8 to come on up. Let's see if that's going to be happening in the next few moments. So that's obviously where a lot of hype is at. ZSAN coming all the way back on down. TGTX doesn't seem like it wants it as hard right now. And let's see if this is going to get a push. Let's see if it's going to happen, guys. Bids right now at 791. Again, we're not looking over here. It's good to look over here. Remember the chart. We got a U-shaped VWAP. Nice. All right, now we focus over here. Bids, where do we want them? Above 795, right? We want bids above 795. We want the ask to push up to $8. We don't want this dropping back down to 790. We don't want this dropping back to 789. That shows a little bit of weakness, right? That shows weakness. That's where the stock falls. So you can see right here, that's where the stock falls when we go back below 789. You might think, what's the difference? Dek, what's the difference between going from 790 to 789? It's a penny. It's only 1 penny, but we're going down to the next area of, 0.10s, right? We're going from 790 to now 780. So people are like, oh, we're losing steam, right? That's all it is. It's just people think we're losing steam. 790, 789 is only 1 penny, but we're going down in the 780s now. So now, people think we're losing steam, and that's where, you get a quick little sell-off. Now, again, it has to rebuild. Look how the bids are still down to 782 because they have to rebuild their way back up and get back up to the 790s. So you always want to stay, once you break a 10th, once you break 770, you want to stay in 770. You don't want to see 769 as an order. Then you break 780s. You don't want to see 779, 78 on the bids. You want to see 780, 781. So now, again, bids are trying to move back up. Now we want to stay above 785. Why 785? Again, we're on the upper half of the 780s. We don't want to go into the second half. It's kind of broken up into 10s or 5s, when you're looking at this. So now let's see if we can push back into the 790s. Bids are getting a little bit more confident, starting to push on up a little bit right here. See if that's going to hold. Nope, back below 785. Now people are getting scared. Now back in the 770s. Now you get a little sell-off, see? So, right here, let's see. It's going to have to take some time. Take some time. I think, best stop loss, though, would be at 770 because that's where we have this channel. It's actually a little bit lower. No, 770 is a good stop loss. There's no point of risking it if it fell. I would say 770s would be the best stop loss. Good entry in the 770s. 778, 770, so, anywhere, but stop loss is still, I would say, 770. See, now it's starting to look a little weak. . So we'll keep on watching right here. We'll keep on watching. Let's just bounce real quick. ZSAN, anything on ZSAN? No. ZSAN still no. TGTX, how's that looking? No. TGTX is done. So again, notice right where it cracks that trend line. This trend line right here, cracked it, faded on off. And you guys have seen that a million times, right? What did I say was a great, stop loss? A great stop loss on this play. Just want to turn off the VWAP for a second. Indicators. What we have right here is this trend line. What I say was the best stop loss? 639. Because there's no point on being on a stock from the bullish side to the bearish side, right? We can look at all these trend line cracks all we want. Right when we see a stock go from the bullish side to the bearish side, it's not worth your time anymore. Bullish side, bearish side, right? Bullish side, bearish side. Bullish side, bearish side. Bullish side, bearish side. So that's all we see. Just once you crack, it doesn't seem like there's really any point to be in it anymore. Let's see, Arkady still fighting. You can see it's still inside this channel. This is our number one to watch. Still inside this channel, right here. Still number one to watch. Bids are still fighting on this one. Hey, look at this. Bids got to push now. There you go. Bids 790. You can't have the price at 794 and have bids at 786. Bids got to push when the ask are moving up. When you got them on the ropes. Let's see, 788. Okay, 790. This is where bids got to go. 790. This is where we want to push right here. If they're going to be able to go on up, 787. And again, I'm not in on this play. I just want to let you guys know that, of course. I'm not in on this play. These are just, these are my thoughts, of course, on, what I would want Arkady to do. And I know a lot of you guys are in on this play. So that's why, I'm really rooting for the stock to go on a giant rip right here. Let's see. It keeps coming up to 790 and it keeps getting rejected right around 790. Bid 787. Ask at 786. 1,000 share order. Not really that big, but at least it's better than a 400 share order. You do got a little higher low pattern, right? A little slight higher low pattern right here where you have, support at 760, 760. And you got a little move right here, 5-10 cents, still shows a higher low. And higher lows can always indicate a possible breakout. Now here we go. This is where RKDA's got to do something big. RKDA got to start making a move a little bit right here. We got our triangle starting to form. It gets up to the 790s and comes right back on down. Yeah, this is a little bit of a make or break time. All right, RKDA, this is make or break time. RKDA, you going to step up to the plate? What do you got for us, baby? 6,000 share order. Get that 810 break and let all the volume push on through. Is this thing going to go? 810 coming on up, it looks like. Now, if you guys are in, 810 is a great area to maybe lock in something just because you want to make sure that you don't get caught up in a dump. But this one's fighting right here. This one's fighting. Let's see. Still got up to 810. Still having trouble at 810. Let's see that break. RKDA, come on, baby. Pay the team. Pay the team today. RKDA, pay the team, baby. Pay the team. Right here, we're still moving. There you go, guys. There we go. Now we're starting to see a little bit more movement on up. Now we're starting to see a little bit more popping. Now we're starting to see a little bit more climbing. This is what we do here, team. Hey! 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 So right now, good job, guys, for everyone who's been able to make some quick profit. And look at this thing go. Look at this thing go. Let's see if we get that hold. Let's see if we get that hold soon, if that thing could break 850. Let's see. Get that 850. Get that 850 break, and now it has continued to move on up. I want to see this thing get halted. Oh, 870, 875, 877. Look at this. I want the team banking today. I want the team banking. So awesome work. Awesome work right there on this beautiful climb, on this beautiful rip. And it looks like we still may be going all the way on up. How much higher does this thing have left in it? All the way up to 880. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it, baby. Let's look for that $9 break now. Pre-market highs are right next towards around that $9 area. Let's see how much more this thing has left in it. Showing pre-market, how high. Let's go back time frame up to a 5-minute break. Pre-market highs is 975. 975 are pre-market highs. Keep it up, team. Keep it up. You guys are doing absolutely awesome. I could not be any more happy for you guys making this big money. So again, awesome job, guys. We'll see if $9 is going to be able to break on out. But you guys did an absolute job. So again, super happy, guys. We'll see what's going to be coming on with this $9 break coming on up. Yeah, I know if I held from this morning. Oh my goodness. I'm so fired up, though, just to see you guys bank. What do we got? Mike, biggest trade of the year, $2,000. Along for the ride. First trade with the Dekmar Trades team, $600. Le'Veon, $465. Trader at night, $580. You know, that is absolutely awesome. Throw those profits over in Profits Chat. All right, let's talk about today, because there is so much to talk about on this play. RKDA, what a monster move. Such a big play and such a big time, run. So we have this whole recap right here. After this recap, I'll probably just add the live trading session, right after it. So you guys will be all good to watch that. But RKDA, this was a play that I actually took a loss on this morning, right? We looked back this morning, and I was in on this play, on this bounce play, right at the 880 mark. I was looking for 880 to bounce right here, and it's a move back on up. And as you can see, it fell and fell and fell all the way down. Now, I didn't hold it all the way down to $7. I was in, and I got out as it started falling right here. But I was in on pre-market. Now, this is the second time. This is the second time this week that I was in on a stock in pre-market thinking, hey, you know what? This is a great potential. This is a great runner. This is a great ripper. And what happened? The stock, fell on down in pre-market and then shot all the way higher than my original entry during the day. It's like I'm spotting out the right plays, the correct plays, but I'm in on them a little too early. That's all. I'm in on them a little too early before they go on this nice rip and run. Now, what I'm extremely excited about is obviously we called this play for the 760 break. We go all the way back right here. We said, hey, when this stock comes and breaks through 760, that's where this stock is going to start getting a lot of big time activity. 760 pop and run, that's where this thing was really going to start ripping and running and really start taking on off. This was at 10:13 a.m. I even put it on my Twitter because I had so much confidence in it. Right here at 10:13, RKDA, if this breaks the VWAP at 760, watch your big buying volume to move in. This is a patch chart supernova and has a lot of potential to run with news and a low flow. No entries as of now. 10:13 a.m. And that brings us to right here. This mark right here. 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minutes later, it went on that nice break of 760. Ran all the way up to $8. Finally broke through $8. And what have I been saying through the whole entire time? If we break the open of 810 or 811, this thing's going to go huge, right? This thing is going to break out, and I think it's going to get halted. Didn't get halted, but I expected giant buying volume to move on through this play. It broke through $8, ran all the way up towards high so far, up towards around 950. And again, the stock definitely has a lot of potential towards it. Right now, it is trying to hold up support right around this 870 mark, and you do have, bounce play potential on the VWAP back down towards around 855. Let's break this down. Start to finish, what the heck happened here? All right, what is going on here, on this play that led to, so many people making some big time money? All right, well, I'm going to talk about my trade a little bit, and then I want to talk about what actually happened, and of course, you guys a little bit. So we're going back to, pre-market. Pre-market, I woke up and I saw RKDA was already gapping up, and it's because it came out with a press release this morning at 4 in the morning. It came out with, this is a leader in advanced agriculture breeding, as we know. RKDA announces that it's going to be working in the cannabis industry. Oh, okay. So we have been hearing a lot about cannabis, in 2019. RKDA now moving over to the cannabis industry starts getting a lot of hype towards it, right? Now, as I said in pre-market, just hearing those 4 letters, RKDA, puts a little shiver down my spine. And why do I do that, guys? Because RKDA is a previous supernova. It's gone from $4 all the way up to $68 in the past, right? This thing has been monstrous before. This thing has gone on a giant rip, a giant run. It went from $4 to $68 before. So whenever the stock starts getting a little bit of attention, people go crazy over it. And look at this. Like, you can see it's just been fading. And now look at us over here. We're having this dot, this nice little gap up, and, potentially it could turn into this again. There is that potential. And, there are a couple trades, a couple different stocks like that get me super excited whenever I see them, like ALT. That gets me super excited, right? SAEX. This doesn't look as big, but this is a $30 spike as well. That gets me super excited. That gets me going. KBSF. That's a stock. Gets me very excited. You got big time spikes right here, big time spikes right here, ripping $20. That gets me very excited. There's certain stocks, and RKDA is definitely one of those, right? That really gets me going. Now, we know we have that press release towards it. Now, why did the stock start ripping, let's say right at the start of the day in pre-market? It's because a lot of people know RKDA as the previous supernova. We know it's a low float stock at 2 million in float, as you guys can see right down here. Again, the 2 million in float. And then it has a press release. So people start gobbling this up right away. Now, I did see this right away in the morning, and it was one of those things where I was just saying, right at the start, if we actually go back, right, and let's go on a 1 minute time frame, I was watching it, and I was saying, okay, this is probably definitely going to be the play I want to get involved with. And the first minute, right at 7 o'clock, it dropped down. I know the VWAP's in the way, but it dropped down to like 7:30. Like right at the start. And I'm like, okay, that's a little odd. But then, soon after, foop, it just like shot on up. Thought I was too late. And then it did keep on going until basically came on down right towards around this 880 mark. That's where I hopped in. And then it started fading. Got a nice little pop back on up. This was just one order that popped it back on up. It couldn't really get above 885. And then eventually just started fading on off. And that's where I had to get out. So that's what happened with my trade. Now, as I said before, guys, you guys, I assume, look up to me, in a manner that you guys respect me enough that you guys are here, and you guys are, of course, wanting to learn from me. You guys know I have a proven track record of success in the stock market. You guys know that I know what I'm talking about in the stock market, know how to trade, know how to alert. And you know what? With that being said, I'm very confident in my trading. And it's very easy to only show wins, but of course, I want to show you my losses at the same time. If I lose on a trade, I am going to tell you. If I win on a trade, I'll be more than happy to tell you. But also, again, me showing my losing trades, it also shows you, I'm human as well. I've been able to trade full-time. I've been able to make money in the stock market for the past 5 years of my life. But there are times I take losses. And there will be times that I will not make money when a lot of other traders make money. And there will be times that, the stock will fall and come back on up. I lost today. I took a loss. And that happens. But at the same time, what fires me up is that I know so many of you guys made some wins on it. But I definitely want to show you my P&L right there, just because I don't ever want to hide anything. You guys respect me. You guys look up to me. You guys say, hey, you know what? Can you teach me? I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. I want to tell you guys my reasoning on why I hopped in on that play. And I want to tell you, of course, why I took a loss on that play. But, RKDA, it's great to see that this stock, came back on up. Now, there's always going to be a person, Dek, well, if you kept holding, you would have been able to make a lot of money then. If you kept holding, you would have been able to make a few $1,000s today. Yeah, but if I kept holding from 880, the stock went all the way down to 694. I would have been down like 10 grand at some point. And, we can't. Obviously, if I knew 100% that it was going to come back on up, I would have kept holding, right? But when you're currently down, $2,000-$3,000, what's the smart thing to do? Lock out, move on, because there's times like today where I hop in on a play, it falls a little bit later on, it goes on a giant rip and a giant spike, right? And that's absolutely great that, it went on a spike, but I know it's a little gut-wrenching. It's like, only if I held. If I held, I could have made $4,000 or $5,000. But you know what that does to the new trader, the rookie trader who isn't very experienced in the market? Now what's in their head right now? Only if I held. Only if I held. All right, so now they're losing their next trade. They hop in their next trade, they're down $200. Nope, not cutting it. Only if I held the last one. Now they're down 500, 600, 2,000. Now their account's gone. Now I got to keep holding. Right? Not every trade is going to come back up. And this one did. That's awesome. But I'm still very happy that I was able to cut out and not wait until I was down $15,000 to cut out. Because I don't want to lose $15,000. Because $15,000 is a lot of money. Right? So, yes, it did come on up, but I don't want to wait for it to fall down to $6 for the possibility of this thing to come back on up. Right? So, Arkady was a beautiful play. It was a beautiful climb. Now, let's start talking about, our alert. Our alert on this play. Start talking about the 760 break. All right? Now, on the 760 break on Arkady, why did we start talking about that? Or why was that such an important mark for us? And this was because the stock started dropping. It started dropping on off, and then we got a little bit of a bounce up to 760. And then it dropped on off, and then it started building a nice little, higher low pattern back up to 760. It's the same exact thing we were looking at. Remember on TGTX? TGTX today. What were we looking for? We were looking for that third touch breakout. This was our first play today, which we alerted at the break of $6 and $6.10, where it spiked all the way up to 660. It hit 660 once, right, which establishes our resistance. It came back on down. It came back up to 660 twice, which enforces our resistance line. And then usually the third touch is where we get that nice big breakout, where we get that nice big rip. And we like to call this like a third touch breakout pattern, right? Where we hit our top, resistance line. 1, 2, third touch is where we usually get that nice breakout, right? In this case, we couldn't get the breakout. We didn't see any buyers movement. So 660 was a great area to lock it up, lock in something. And then I also said stop loss would be at 639 in case it cracks the trend line. As you can see, trend line cracked, and it just kept going all the way down, all the way down. And you guys have seen all these pictures before. When you crack a trend line, is there even a point to even hold that play anymore? No, it's going from bullish to bearish, bullish to bearish, bullish to bearish. Once you crack the trend line, get out. Some people are like, no, I want to make sure it's dumping. Yep, okay, yep, it's dumping. Okay, yep, I just lost all my money. It's like, why wait for that thing to dump on you before you get out? It's going from bullish to bearish. Move on. Right? The stock is going to be coming on down right here. Move on to a different play. So TGTX started cracking the trend line. We didn't get that 660 break. Still an awesome 50-cent climb, but from the $6 area, but not the 660 break. We looked a little bit at ZSAN. The ZSAN tried to get a little bit of a pop as well. This one started fading on off, right? We also looked at TTOO, right? TTOO had a nice little climb in the morning, and then this one started fading on off as well, right? Then I was like, all right, we had Arkady this morning, and this one has, just been dumping, right? Then I went over to, of course, TGTX. That was an awesome play. That one couldn't hold up. We looked at ZSAN. That couldn't hold up. Just checking on previous top gainer, TTOO from this morning. That couldn't hold up. Went back to Arkady. Again, we have all our, all it takes is one click to look at a different play. It's not very tough to, see if anything's setting itself up. And what do I notice? Right here, okay, I noticed that this play sets itself up, starts at 810, comes back on down, comes back on up towards around 760. All I got to do is put a line right at 760, right? That's all I got to do. And let's, make this a little bigger so we get a little zoomed in look. And we can see right at 760, we even have a little pop right here at 760 that kind of, establishes a little bit of resistance. We kind of enforce this resistance at 760. And then we start building a little bit of, some higher lows. Right, we start building some higher lows on this play where it starts moving back on up. And I say, hey, guys, if we break through that 760 mark again, this thing's going to go. We establish this resistance. we enforce resistance, and break through the third touch resistance is where this thing really likes to run, is where this really likes to rip on up. I always show you guys a lot of different pictures, of course, third touch, different breakout patterns, just so you guys, of course, really have that understanding of it. OPGN, one touch, two touch, third touch. Get that nice big breakout. You can get that nice big rip. VGZ, a little bit of action right here, breaking through that resistance after a few touches of that top resistance. ZAIS, one touch, two touch, three touch. That's very nice. Let's see, this one is STAF. No, that's you got like one touch right here, two touch right here, third touch, break, and you go on that nice rip and nice run. So again, some examples kind of get you guys thinking where my mindset was. And you could see right here, this is where this big buying volume came through after it could break. Now, after it broke through the 760 mark, where'd it go all the way up to? It ran up towards around 790, and we started getting into a little bit of a funk, between the 790 area. But what's another thing we noticed right at, from $8 right here to the 790 mark? What's something we noticed right here? We do have a little bit of higher lows, and we have, of course, our top resistance. And this is where we're going to lead to a very nice squeeze pattern, right? We have our top resistance right at 790. It hits 790 and falls. It hits 790, falls. Comes up to 790, falls. Hits 790 again and falls. We formed this channel once again until we basically kind of was like a third touch breakout pattern again, where we had the 1, 2, 3. We were looking for the channel. That's what I apologize. We were looking for the channel, and then we could see we set ourselves up in this this channel pattern right here, where we have our support at 760, top resistance at 790, and it's kind of the same exact thing with what? It's kind of the same exact thing with our three touch breakout, right? We have our one touch right here up to $8, fall back on down. We have our second touch to $8, comes back on down. Third touch to $8 comes, and now we break on out. So we got our one touch to $8, comes on down. Second touch to $8, comes back down. Once again, three strikes, boom. That's when usually you're out of there. So usually if it can break on out, that's where it goes. Or again, three strikes, and then you're going to be cracking on down. Just like in TGTX. TGTX had a 1, 2, 3, couldn't break, and then it's done. On this case, on RKDA, what do we have here? We have our 1, 2, 3 breakout, and then we have 1, 2, 3 breakout. So usually third touch is always the big time breakout area. Now, where did I usually say, hey, you know what? We're going to see a lot of activity when we break the open, right? The open was right around 810, 811. And as you see, right at 810, 811, that's where this thing really went big. Why? Because now we're considered a red to green move, right? Now we're considered a red to green move. Now, what's a red to green move? A red to green move is where we open up, we drop at the start of the day, and then we get a nice big breakout because we break the open. The open is considered detailed resistance. Detailed resistance would be indicators, the previous high of the day, the previous low of the day, the close, the open. And when we break the open, we usually get very nice rips because we're going from red to green on the day. Now, I know if you look at a textbook, a red to green day will be considered from the previous close. I consider it a red to green move from the open. So I see right here, we opened right here at 810, and the stock came all the way back down to 696. Then it was staying underneath here, and once we broke 810, now I consider it green on the day, and that's where we went on a giant rip and run. So a lot of times you can look at right here, we go red on the day, and once it breaks back to the green side on the day, we get this very nice rip, we get this very nice run, we get this very nice pop, right? So red to green moves lead to some very nice rips and very nice climbs, and that's why I was saying, we get that's why I'm saying, we're going to get a very nice explosion at the break of 811 right here, right? I've been calling that out for the break of 811 just because where did I come up with that number? That's just the opening mark right there. So that was all from that, and that's where the stock really started taking on off. That's where it really started getting that big time rip, and of course getting that big time climb. So overall today, it's been so much fun. Obviously, you guys over in Profits Chat has been absolutely killing it. I haven't even looked for the past little bit now, but even from here, RKDA $2,000, quick $580, $465, $660, quick 51, $120 right there. Those are definitely absolutely awesome gains. Even if you guys are on a smaller account, and green is green. Right here, what do you got? Up 120, 520, 472, 505, 2,914, 740. You guys are killing it. And so, again, shout out to all you guys who have been making money on these plays, pulling the trigger. If you guys made money on RKDA, shout out to you. You guys deserve it. If you guys made money this morning on TGTX, shout out to you guys, deserve it. So again, it's all about having that confidence to pull the trigger. And trust me when I say I am just as happy to see you guys make money as when I make money. I get so fired up when you guys bank, because I know how hard you guys are working. I know how hard you guys want this. And you guys honestly could be anywhere in the world right now. You guys could be anywhere in the world. As you guys know, we have 600 members right now, and that's kind of where we're staying at the moment, just because I want to give you guys my undivided attention, just to help you guys with anything we need. But I'm super fired up to work with every single person right here in chat. So again, absolutely awesome. I'm also fired up, as you guys know, because our small account challenge is coming on up, and that's where we're really going to be working together to be able to say to ourselves, hey, you know what, let's grow a small account, let's work together and go from there. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know. But absolutely awesome job today, guys. Could not be any more pumped or happy for you.